Welcome to the special Board of Education meeting, July 23rd, 2020, 11 a.m. We have one item on the agenda. Dr. Ken, you can take it away.
Very good. First, before we do a roll call, we're going to stand and do the Pledge of Allegiance. If you would all stand and join. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Mr. Summers is going to take the roll call.
Mr. Flack?
Here.
Mrs. Gingrich?
Here.
Mr. Huber?
Here.
Mrs. Voorhees?
Here.
Mr. Sell?
Here.
We've got one item on the board agenda for today. That's a resolution declaring it necessary to levy a renewal tax in excess of the 10 mil limitation. In other words, it's looking at doing a renewal of the current emergency operating levy.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Where did the second come from? I'm sorry.
Carl.
Carl?
I did.
Okay. Any discussion before I roll call?
Briefly, the first sentence or two, Dr. Ken, will be the verbiage on the ballot. That's the ballot language, correct?
Right, we will need to come back next month and also approve this going forward. So,
Yeah, there will be a second resolution that we need to pass, and that second resolution will contain the ballot language.
Do we want to speak about how we came to the conclusion of what we're doing here before we pass it?
yeah, I think discussion would certainly be appropriate.
Okay.
I think it would be wise for us to say that we felt as a board and an administration at this time, increasing any millage or asking the voters for any more money would be an error, and so we're just asking for a renewal of the existing emergency levy.
Yeah, I think it's just important for the voters to understand two things. One, that we try and look around the community and the world to what's happening, that we are all members of the community and we recognize that times are difficult. I saw someone joke around today that I would really go for some precedented times rather than unprecedented times, but the truth is we are in unprecedented times, and so while the school district had its funding cut by the state, and that is real dollars lost from coming into our community, we felt like it was still, even looking at all of those factors and considering where we're at and having to make this decision in July, the important thing to do would be to seek a renewal, no new taxes for our community, just to make sure that we continue forward in a positive direction, knowing that we're going to have to revisit this at some point in the coming years, but hopefully in a non-coronavirus reality, God willing. But I just think the biggest thing for our citizens and our voters to understand is no new taxes, that this is a renewal. Their tax bill will not go up, that this is a renewal coming to them. And it's a fairly substantial renewal. Dr. Ken, maybe you can speak to that. I believe it's over 20% of our overall budget, is that correct?
Now, originally when it was passed at over 11 mills, but each year the collection goes down because the property values go up. We can't bring in more money than this. It's a set amount of money, so the number of mills continues to go down as the valuation of the property goes up. So we will not be collecting any additional money. This levy actually runs through 2021, so by passing it, it means that it will continue another 5 years beyond it, so it'll run through 2026.
Correct, and just to reiterate what Craig said, yeah, we did take tax, or big cuts from the state in funding, but we are also looking at, again, this year in funding, once again from the state, so we're tightening our belt like everybody else. I believe what Craig said earlier was, took a haircut, and I think we took a little bit more than just a haircut, and continuing to do so. But we heard the public, and we heard the community, and we all feel it, that we're gonna keep our belts tightened and spend wisely.
Agreed. And when the money from the state decreases and when our dollar amount has to stay the same from this particular levy, even when our expenses go up, we know that we're in a belt tightening mode, and that's what we're asking the voters here, is to just renew what we already asked for in the past.
Okay.
Roll call, Mr. Sullivan?
Mr. Sell,
Yes.
Mr. Huber,
Yes.
Mrs. Voorhees,
Yes.
Mr. Flack,
Yes.
Mrs. Gingrich.
If there's no further business with this Board of Education, we now stand adjourned. Thank you.